What's up, people? This is episode 69 of the Option Podcast, and I have Angel Dache, and the episode starts right now. Welcome, people. This is episode 69. I am Jason DeBillius. This is the Option Podcast. You people ask and I deliver because I've got to give the people what they want. Angel Dache, what's good, baby?
What's up? What's up? How you doing?
So listen, before we got on the podcast, we were talking about how the sport keeps us mad young, right? Like
That's right.
You have
That's
to be
right.
close to 30 right now.
I am 30.
Oh, you are 30. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the cool thing is everybody gets all sad when they think about that 30th birthday. Oh, I'm getting old or this or that. But not us, man. It's like,
No, man. I am happy to be 30.
yeah.
So happy.
You still
Yeah.
getting checked for ID, though.
That's right. I don't know,
Going
man.
to
I
the
don't know.
bar,
I
you
got
know.
some hairs growing
There
in
it
the
is.
wrong spot. I don't know what's going on.
Nah, I feel you. I share your sentiment. I'm 50, so you know. And again, we look mad young.
Yeah, you're looking great, though. That's
Oh, I think
man,
the only
50. I want to be 50 and still look like you.
Yep.
No hair on the face, none of that.
Honestly, when I was 30, I saw a guy who was 50. His name was Rafael. I think Dolvich. He's from Puerto Rico. He's Rafu's one of Rafu's boys. Old school guy. Body of an 18-year-old. He's like 50 years old, just still playing volleyball. And I'm like, wait a second.
He's
I don't-
50. He was 50.
At the time I was 30, he was
Oh,
50. He has to be
yeah.
like 60 something now. And I saw him, and he was coaching some Puerto Rican juniors, two boys, like 16s, for
Yeah.
I think it was AVP first or what the hell's out there? AAUs.
You're right.
And I was like, don't tell me. Nah, I'm like, okay, that's him, but that can't be him because he has to be older now. I haven't seen the dude
Yeah.
in 15 years, right? So I'm like,
Uh-huh.
well, it looks like him, but that's not him because the guy I knew, he looked like that 15 years ago. So, but hey, big up to us because that's what the sport does for us. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, don't- listen, the only
glad
person
to
that-
be able to play.
the only person that turned old was Oz, man. Oz, I think the sport
Yeah.
made him an old
Man,
guy.
I think Oz looks the same since I first met him in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
He always looks old.
So you're from Havana, Cuba, right?
That's right. Born and raised.
Where's Oz from? In
He's
relation
from
to
Camagüey, I believe.
Okay.
It's a little more west
Mhm.
of Cuba. So like yeah, so Cuba goes like that. So he's more like towards the end of the island. Yeah.
Cool, man. I'm gonna ask you something, but I want to segue. I want to set up the question. Oz, growing up, and I'm bringing this full circle, so bear with me. Oz, growing up, said that if you can't pass the ball, you can't take care of first hit. Like growing up, you weren't allowed to take the court. I have my boy Eugene Escoboza. They call him Flaco. Play for Bameso. He's like 6'4", or whatever, and he's like, nope. Couldn't bump the ball against the wall 100 times. If you couldn't bump or you couldn't take care of first hit, you weren't allowed to take the court. Where like other regions, they see like a tall kid and they put him in the middle, they put him here or whatever, and this and that. So my question to you is, how much does that apply to you when you were growing up playing?
Man, honestly, he applies a lot. Like that was the first thing I did growing up when I was introduced to volleyball. I mean, we didn't have a court, so basically our coach will make us just go around the lab, just bump passing the ball,
Yep.
as much as I can. And after that, it was all like ball to the wall, just repetition, passing to a wall, and then like man to man. But it took a whole year, a whole like entire volleyball year for me to develop a pass. Obviously, the way the volleyball school works in Cuba is that you got time. So the very first year is all to develop the athlete, right? So basically, if by the end of the year you don't know how to still bump or like set the ball, you get cut,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
that's it. It's like that was the end of your career. Just 1 year and you're done.
It's
Yeah.
like, damn, I just started, man.
Yeah. No.
Give me
Right.
some time.
No, but again, man, it's like we put so much time into it that you learn.
Mhm.
Everybody did. I went with a group of 11 kids, and 11 made it out.
Yeah.
Everybody, the coaching is great, and you should learn if you're willing to.
Yeah. I think, honestly, that's what separates a lot of coaches. Like, there are some coaches that are like, they like game-based drills instead of drill-based drills.
Hmm.
And for me, I've been doing this coaching for 21 years, actually 22 now, and I'm playing for like 30, 31. But to me, I don't think either one survives on its own. You know
No,
what I'm saying? I
no,
think it's like capitalism and socialism, right? Like, I've never seen
right.
a country thrive just on one alone. Sooner or later, something, the wheels are gonna come off. And I
Something.
think that's a
That's
mistake when
right.
people make that argument, because I grew up the way I played, and New York is a big immigration population. So
Hmm.
I learned I learned most of my game from the Dominicans, from the guys uptown that live in Washington Heights.
Yeah.
I'm from Brooklyn, but if you wanted to play and you wanted to get better, you had to go to 145th. That's what we call it in Harlem, and it's fours,
Nice.
fours. Monday and Wednesday, and it was free, 7 o'clock at night, and you got tall dudes that can't even take the court because they couldn't take care of first hit. I mean, and
That's right.
not even, I don't even think everybody there spoke English, you know? And I don't know if you hear, I mean, I know you speak Spanish, but
Man,
I don't know if you
yeah,
ever heard try to understand a Dominican uptown
I have.
speaking
I
Spanish.
have. Yeah, they kind of hard to understand. Yeah. They speak very fast.
Yes. Well, for the people listening to the podcast, for the audio and watching the video version of this, I'm going to say it like this. Dominicans speaking Spanish uptown. If the word don't start with the letter S, they don't need it. They
Yeah,
don't
they
need
don't need
it.
it.
It's
Yeah,
not
you're
como
right.
esta. It's como esta. It's not me gusto bailar. It's me gusto bailar. It's not pescado. It's
Uh-huh.
pecado. So, and I'm like, so what that does is that allows you to talk faster. And so now you're talking faster, and now you're taking letters out your words. And I'm just like, dude,
Hmm.
okay, just this.
Yeah.
That
Well, volleyball is a whole language
shotgun.
itself. I mean, it's funny.
Mhm.
Like you cannot speak one language and all of a sudden, get put in a court like full of foreigners, and you still can communicate. Volleyball, that's
Yeah,
that's the beauty of the sport,
yeah,
right?
man.
Like, I mean, when I was in Europe, I mean, a lot of the guys didn't speak English or Spanish for that matter, and somehow we just vibe. We communicated, we knew what to do.
Yeah.
It's like sign
Oh,
language, whatever it is,
something.
we made it happen.
Listen, there's nothing in the world when you play with a team, right? And New York is very unique because I could go to Brighton Beach and everyone speaks Russian and no one
Right.
speaks English. I could go to Chinatown, right? And they speak English, but they all them Chinese people, they all with each other. They ain't gonna speak English,
Right?
all right?
No, I don't want
You
to
know,
speak
so
English.
so but there's nothing in the world like, for example, like you playing overseas, right? You get a
Hmm.
block, and then you turn around, your team looks at you, and that look that you guys give each other is a whole paragraph.
It's
um,
a whole sentence. Yeah, you're right about that.
my
It's
acting
crazy.
professor once said an ounce of behavior is worth a pound of words. An ounce of behavior is worth a pound of words. So I
Yeah.
was so that's it right there. So
Hey,
yeah,
just think about this: when you did something wrong in your house, and your mom only have to give you this one look,
oh my
and with
God.
that one look, you knew you were F
Yes.
for life,
Yes.
for life.
Did you get
Yeah, like,
all right. Angel, did you get whooped out of trouble?
oh yeah, oh man, man, I tell you what,
Dude.
I got bruises. they what they did to me shouldn't even be fair. But I deserved it all. Yeah, I deserved it all.
Look, to me, growing up, I always thought the punishment should fit the crime. My mother,
Yeah,
listen, my mom whooped me like I owed her money. You know,
yeah, no,
like
that's
picture the
exactly how
mob.
it
They're like,
was.
"Are you gonna pay?"
Yeah,
It's like, I'm gonna pay it.
uh-huh.
I'm gonna pay
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
She
no,
used to
it's
go
tough.
outside. She used to make me go outside and find a branch.
Yeah,
In Brooklyn, I grew up in Brooklyn. We call it a switch. You know, whatever.
hmm,
A lot of West Indians call it that too, the switch. Go get the switch. And I'm like, damn, I got to go pick my murder weapon, dude. So, but
that's
hey,
tough.
look, the Angel, you came out all right, you know, and
Yeah, that's what I'm
you know,
saying. I loved it, hey,
you know,
and
I
I
tell my
wish more
friends,
people got it too.
I tell my friends who have kids too, just beat his ass, dude. And they're just like,
Yeah,
Jason, you can't say that. And I'm like, yeah,
I
yeah,
know.
yes, I
It's a,
can.
it's a, it's a different day and age.
Yeah. Well, I got a 4-year-old, so I already told myself I ain't touching that girl. I might tap her
Mm,
hiney like once or
yeah,
twice, you know, but for her, as long as she believes I'm gonna do that, that's good enough. I don't
right.
even
That's
that
what matters. That's what I'm
yes.
saying.
The look.
That initial look,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that initial
Mm-hmm.
look is like I know my soul is gonna go away from my body. Like at some point. Yeah, she would look at me like it's that one unique look. I was like, oh man, I'm so in trouble.
Before I ask my next question, when did you come to the United States?
I came
How
in
wait, how old?
2007.
No, but how old?
I was 17 years old.
17 years old. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna go back to Cuba then. The whole
Hmm.
volleyball process. Were you doing volleyball in junior high school and high school, or how does the school
Yeah.
system work?
So
Talk me
I
through it.
do I started volleyball when I was 10 years old. In I believe that was 2000. And so the way it works is say we go to a school that specializes for sports. They pick you based on your height, weight. Maybe your mom and dad had something to do with the sports, and so you go. You board in this school. You go Monday to Fridays at the school, and then Sundays you go back home. Then do the same thing then the following week, and sometimes you don't even go home for like 3 weeks. So basically, all I did was play volleyball and just take care of the academics.
Cool.
Um, but for 5 years, that goes. I believe we have a different school system in Cuba than we have in the U.S.
Yeah.
But once I got here to the States, I was supposed to be a senior in high school, but because of the language, I was moved back 1 year. So I started as a junior in high school and did the senior year as well.
Oh, okay. So, but
Hmm.
is there a junior high school and a high school in Cuba, or you were just put through like multiple years with the same sports academy?
Yeah, the same sports academy. Yeah.
Oh, cool, man.
After you like finish the sports academy, you just go to like a career specialist school, which if you chose let's say like any type of like coaching or teaching, you just go to another school,
Okay.
and maybe they have a volleyball
Hmm.
team, maybe they don't. If you were really good, then you just um, do your specialization in the high performance school, which
Right.
is called like Cerro Pelado. That's like where the national team is,
Right. I
and it's pretty much another border school.
Yeah, I grew up watching the national team. I first got into volleyball. It was a '88 team, and then I was overseas. I was in Germany when the '92 Olympics was happening. I went there and I got to watch USA play Japan. But the two
Right.
teams I really wanted to watch was Brazil at the time. They had this guy Marcelo Negrado is a pretty good player, and
Hmm.
Cuba, Joel de España, or as
Yep.
the Americans will call him Joel de Spain, but I think I'm saying it right. Joel de España, is that correct?
Yep, that's right.
So that was
That's
one of my
right.
favorite male players back then, growing up.
They call him the devil.
Yeah. Yo, the dude's got
Yeah.
a lot of fire,
Yes.
man. He's got a lot of
Yeah.
fire, and I
He.
want to talk. We're gonna talk about him in a minute because I want because it's gonna apply to your game. Again, I'm gonna bring everything back full
Hmm.
circle. But
Yeah.
and my favorite female player was Marela Luis, and
Yeah. They have
and they
three.
married, right? They got married.
Yeah.
So, so
No,
my favorite male and female player from Cuba both got married. Now, for the people listening at home, Marela Luis was 5'6", but could dunk a basketball. She was the youngest of 11 children. And I guess when you gotta compete. You gotta
yeah.
get tough or die when you're in a household like that. So, and Yoel
That's
Despaigne,
right.
Cuba battled the U.S. men's team in '92 for the bronze. USA won that in 4 sets. And the Cuba women's team won gold in '92, gold in '96, and gold in 2000. They're the only three-peat champion for indoor volleyball, men's or women's,
Best team in the history of
in the history of
volleyball.
the sport. I think men's
Yeah.
or women. Men or women. They
Hmm.
were the only team that I knew that ran a 6'3".
Yeah.
Now,
They
no one even knows what the hell a 6'3" is. Now, and for those listening, look it up. It's there. Google search it. It exists. Sorry, go ahead.
and you know, big shout out to their coach. He's actually the only coach that is inserted into the Hall of Fame in the United States
Good.
from another country.
Good.
Yeah, of the sport. So he was the greatest coach
Hmm.
to ever coach the game, at least for Cuba. And
I, I mean,
and I got
who
the
better?
chance to meet him.
Who better? You
Uh,
did meet him?
yeah, I got the chance to meet him, and man, great guy.
Yep. Yeah, I have like a top 5 indoor coaches, but I've only limited them to the United States because I never really had a chance to talk to the international too many international coaches. One is my mentor. His name is Mario Trebic. He was with the Netherlands in '92. They won the silver, lost to Brazil, and then eventually won the gold. Beat the Italians, I believe, in 5 sets. So he was someone that lived in New York for a while, and you might have known him because you might have seen him referee. He's this old Russian guy, cold blue eyes, blind as a fucking bat. Can't really. I mean, he's just making all these ridiculous calls, and all of the kids are like, "Oh my god, this guy doesn't know what he's doing." And I'm like, guys, watch yourself. He's been coaching long.
Yeah,
He's been doing this longer than you've lived. Never mind played.
respect.
So,
Yeah.
but he just liked to move around. I mean, he lived in New York, but he liked to referee. It was one of these things because it was a socializing thing for him with
Hmm.
Bruce. Bruce is one of the East Coast referees that some people know, and we could just name refs off. And yeah, he was my mentor. He was the guy that kind of helped me conquer psychological demons between my ears.
Yeah. Nice. You
Yes.
always gotta have that one person.
So I guess my question is, before I forget, and because I'm talking your poor ear off, I mean, I gotta let you talk
No,
too.
no.
I guess my question was, Yoel Despaigne was one of those rare players that could start emotionally high and stay there. Because our coaches teach us, you want to go high, but not too high, because for every high, there's gonna be a low.
Yeah, there's
So,
always a
so
low.
for every
Yeah.
5 points you're gonna score in the high, you're probably gonna give up 9 on the low. So don't be too high.
Hmm.
How do you um, how do you navigate that as a beach player and as an indoor player? How do you keep your emotions in check? Because you're like no Cuban I've ever met, and that,
Well,
you're considered quiet for a Cuban.
yeah. Well, that's a great question because I remember you podcast with Bruno, and he mentioned that I was the calmest guy you ever met, and us actually made a comment saying that that is now not the one that he met before. But honestly, man, I've always been really fiery, especially at the beginning of my career as a volleyball player. Like I was the one screaming, I was the one, like getting involved with the other team. I've always been that player. It's just that nowadays I realize, like that you're right. I mean, how can I keep that level of intensity. Um, like if I'm always screaming, if I'm always flexing after a point, like I realize, man, I'm getting tired of doing this, like I'm getting tired from it. So now I do the same thing, but it's all internally, right? So man, there's so much that we can do with our minds. Like I can celebrate a point without showing you physically that I am celebrating. So pretty much I get the kill and I tell myself, this is like, that was a good hit. I'm pumped, in my mind, without like getting my body too exhausted. But I do see, I go back to watching my college matches and high school matches, and man, I was so fiery. I was so fired. But I mean, I'm no 17, 18, 20 years old anymore. No, I am actually like, I do get exhausted when I play matches, especially like a whole day tournament.
Actually, I'm gonna show a highlight. This is you, some of
Yeah.
your highlights in college. That's you on the swing block. It's pretty cool
Yeah.
stuff. This is your outside. Go ball fell inside, but who cares? Right?
Yeah.
Who cares? This is against Ohio State, right?
Yeah. That is against Ohio State. Yeah.
Dude, just throw it up.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So,
Fun times.
but sorry, I didn't. I wanted to make sure you were finished because I ain't
Yeah.
trying to
No.
cut
No.
off your
No. I
sentence.
was. Yeah.
No, but the reason why I asked is for two reasons. Because I was always an emotional player. I'm a kid from Brooklyn, so I brought a certain swagger to indoor volleyball, especially overseas and this and that people found uncomfortable. I mean, because
Hmm.
it's a hip hop life, or dance hall reggae life, so it's a different kind of culture. But I got two things from this. One, there's very few people that can start high, like I said before, that can start high and say high. And that's why I brought up Yoel de España. He did it. He was able to do it like that level of sustainability. Those guys are unicorns, right? And if you see
Yeah.
one, you need to bring him to the
Definitely.
lab, right? Get Kevin Knight, Kevin Knight to examine him and and understand this unicorn, right? I'll give you another example, and I say it all the time on my podcast. Fallon Fonoy Mawano. She's another
Yeah.
one
Oh
that
yeah.
starts
She got
high
great
and
energy.
stays high. So two things are wrong with everyone doing this. Like we said, big waves crash. The higher the wave, the harder the crash. So you have to mediate it.
Hmm.
The second thing I got from it is you have to have a partner that has your back. You
Right.
have to have, and I'm not talking about indoor anymore. We're talking about beach. You have to have a partner that has your back. If you're
Hmm.
fireness, and sometimes you're chatty, and maybe you get chatty across the net. If the next play your partner gets aced,
Right.
it's kind
How?
of your
How?
fault, And
Right.
I mean, I want to blame my partner because he's not strong enough. I'm like, dude, if I talk
Hmm.
Ash, back me up. But
Yeah.
but really, at the end of the day, looking back maturely, looking back
Hmm.
retrospectively, that dude got aced because that was on me.
Yeah. Well,
Because I didn't know my partner.
well, I believe it's like it's like the yin and the yang. Like sometimes. So depending on who I play, I chose to be that type of person.
Hmm.
When I play with Cam, he's the fieriest guy I ever play with.
Who's this?
This guy, when I first played with him, he was so about that hype.
Who's this again?
Always.
Who is this?
Cameron
Oh
Bean.
yeah. Oh
When I
oh
play with him,
oh God,
yeah,
love that guy.
like this guy, he's super fiery, and I loved it.
Hmm.
So I had to be the one to calm him down whenever he needs to be calmed down. Like
Yeah.
I'll be there for him.
Hmm.
If I'm playing with Jeff, I feel even though I know Jeff has the fire, but he's also realized that all that fire, gotta be a little balanced. Um, I say I bring the fire on Jeff. I am that like constant. let's kill. Let's not shield. It's no, we are not trying to be nice here. No, let's go for blood.
Yeah.
And I'll be that person.
Hmm.
He be the one calming me down. And same with Bruno. Bruno is a really fiery man, and like I did a great job. I thought, I did a good job at, staying like composed during plays and arguments and things like that. I can be both. I know I could. It's just that I need to know when to bring it, right? Like you say, I mean, I might be like super, super fiery, and then the next thing I get ace, where the fire go, you
Yes.
know?
What happens
It,
after that?
exactly. No, so I know I pick and choose when to be fiery as well. So
Yeah. Here's an ace. Let me show you an ace. This is actually from a couple of days ago. You playing Marciniak and Rafu.
right,
Here it is. Nice toss. Boom, down the middle. That was awesome. That was awesome. I'm gonna be showing
yeah,
highlights this whole time. For the people on the audio, I apologize, but sometimes we gotta show a play or two. But
yeah,
the thing I liked about it, it was balanced, calm. You probably could have done the same thing. You also know when to break it out. Okay, let's by the way, talk about culture. That was a Polish guy, Puerto Rican, a guy from
yeah.
Flint, Michigan, and a Cubano. Come on, come
Right.
on. This is
There is
volleyball,
a lot
baby.
of culture in that. Yeah, there is a lot of
was that
culture
the
in that court.
was that the semis or the finals?
That was the semis.
Okay, because
Yeah,
Rafu need to text me back. I text him. I'd asked him that, and I don't think he answered me
yeah,
back. I'm like, Rafu, stop acting like we slept together and call me back, dude. you
right.
know, Rafu is one of the
It's a
guys
busy
that
day at the beach.
Yeah, Ralph was one of the guys that helped put me on too for AVP.
Yeah,
Because
nice.
I was trying to coach, so he allowed me to be like his analytics coach, do numbers, stats, like pull charts and this, and it just allowed me to familiarize myself with the whole scene. As an indoor player like I was
Hmm.
trying to transition as a coach, and commentating was easy for me because I got the gift of
Right,
gab. And I definitely got to come down to Carolina and Florida and call one of y'all games, man.
man.
Yo,
Go
I
ahead.
think
You always have a
we all
place
rise
to stay.
together, right?
Right.
but let's talk to me about Jeff and the chemistry in which you have. Is your partnership, this is a tough question. Your partnership, is there one person that's more controlling than the other?
Uh,
Because I think, here's the thing. I think you can take control if you need to, but I also think you're very good at giving up control if someone like has a game plan or whatever and this and that. In my experience, there's no partnership that's completely 50-50. So is he the one steering the ship a little bit more, or is it you?
um, honestly, I think it's like both. I think we both have a good control management of the match. Obviously what he can do blocking at his size is
Yeah.
unseen.
Yep.
Like, I mean, he can just block the whole court.
Mm.
Um, and every other skills, like he's just gifted. He's just a gifted athlete. I believe that there's not always one person controlling the match,
Right.
and that never happens. And usually when that happens, you always come out on the wrong side
Yeah, no
of
doubt.
the column, of the win and loses columns. Um,
Yeah, you can keep going. I'm just running some
I
video for the.
think, yeah, I think obviously his experience is what helps me the most, just because he's been there before. He's been on every scenario. He's won championships. He's won tournaments. He's been on the finals, and I think he's able to, you know, kind of like take me to the next level, as an athlete, as an up and coming, future AVP player, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
He got the experience to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
like you say, it's like I think we have a great balance just because my ability to serve and his ability to block is just off the chart.
yeah.
Usually when it's working.
I like
Um,
man, I like
yeah.
me some Jeff, dude. Jeff, for everybody listening at this in this episode, this 69th episode, watching Jeff play is one thing because he's quite the enigma. Like you said, given his height and what he can do, he does things that are 6'8" worthy, and he changes the way some people coach. They look at like a kid coming up. Oh, you're not tall. You're never gonna be a blocker. You just be a backward defender. And then there's some people like Jeff that'll be like, if I want to be this, I'm gonna be this, right? And
Yeah.
if you look at people like Trevor Crabb, right, he's not especially tall, but he's a full time blocker too. So you have
Hmm.
these guys that are just super athletes that no one even just thinks. They just stop thinking about height and they just negate height. So that's Jeff as a player. And you'll appreciate this. Jeff, the game's over. If you sit next to Jeff, have a conversation with this guy. For everybody listening, Jeff is an even more amazing human being than he is a player. And I know that's hard to believe because he's an amazing player. But
Oh
he
no,
he
he is.
is so straight up and down, dude. He's more straight up and down than 6 o'clock. I mean, it don't get more straight up and down than that. You know,
Right.
I get that a lot from you too. When I looked at you and I started seeing the way you play and the way you behave, I said to myself, that boy's mama whooped him out of trouble.
You're right.
Yeah, I said
You're right about
he's a
that.
good kid. He was a good kid. You still a good kid. You're 30 years old, and people are still
Mhm.
calling you a good kid, and you're a grown ass man. So
That's right.
I like the partnership in that. So my question was, is it fun having a partner where you don't have to deal with your partner?
Well, honestly, I actually give credit that for me. I have this one thing for a very long time that if I don't like you as a person, I just won't play with you. Um, and I don't care whether you feel or not. I just think like good people normally tend to be good players. Um, I think everybody that I've played with is an amazing human being.
Yep. Right.
And
We talk about Bruno, right?
right,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like
Mm.
Bruno, Brian Tillman, Cameron, Kevin, um, countless people
Wow. Yeah.
that I play with. I play with a lot of people, in 2, 3 years of me playing beach volleyball. And I love every single one of them. I think they're all unique in their own, and they're all like great people. Again, like Cameron Beans was the one who opened the idea of like, okay, we can travel to these tournaments and be great. And he was only 17 and he was pretty much guiding me
Yeah.
through this whole process, and I love him for that. I mean, and I saw him, like every tournament, I met new people and everybody, it was just great to me. So next thing I knew, it's like, okay, I'm gonna ask this person because I think he's a nice person. That was literally my way to like getting my partners. I just think everybody I play with is great. And like you say, Jeff is a great guy. Like you say, you think he's good in the court, wait till you meet him. You gotta meet him personally, and he's a great human being.
It's true.
So
Yeah. Well, Jeff in California, we lived across the street from each other. So when he was here in Hermosa Beach, um, I asked him if he wanted to coach a little bit, coach juniors. I have a juniors program, Duran Forbes. It's called Endless Summer, and at the time Jeff was coaching there, we led the country in recruitments per capita. So it was this beach volleyball club because now it's an NCAA sport, right? So now
yep.
all of the club sizes have tripled, but we wanted to keep our groups small because every other club went big. So you got like one coach for like 10 girls.
Hmm.
Us, it was one
Oh
coach for
my
every
God,
3 girls. For us, it's one coach for
that's
every
good.
3 girls or 4 girls. So Duran, my boss at the time was like, she says, I need someone for Thursday. Do you know someone? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, Jeff, this would be good for you. Come coach. So he started coaching with us, and I think I saw a change in his game a little bit. Because sometimes
Oh,
when you're younger, and you start coaching kids, and you're like, no, you got to take that giant step on your peel, or you got to face your platform, on your left shoulder. Because a lot of right-handed hitters, they do this and look
hmm,
forward, but because they're right shoulder heavy, they pass and they still don't know it's whatever. But
right.
sometimes you serve their left, and Jeff has this problem, and you probably heard me say this too. Jeff does this. He faces this way, so now his platform is facing upwards, right? So
Yep.
so now the ball's going up, and you got to run this way, and sometimes it's behind
Hmm.
him, and sometimes it might even be an ace. But sometimes when Jeff is teaching a girl, like on your left shoulder, face, now shoulder's high, this one's low,
Yeah.
right? Because what's this is high, naturally that's got to be low. And Jeff was like, okay, I got it. And in fact, I got that for me. So, was there any like coaching in your life, or any volleyball camps or clinics that you helped out that you helped out some of the kids, or are you
I
just strictly
did.
playing?
I did coach. No, I coached for a year. When I was back in Miami. After I graduated from college.
Okay.
I coached for a team. It's called Miami Hype.
Yeah.
Um, and it was just I believe there were 11 to no, maybe 13 to 15-year-old kids,
Okay. Yeah. Tiny.
boys,
Okay.
and yeah, and they were great kids, and yeah, they were great kids, and some of them I've seen them now. They've gone to college and they
Yeah.
become great athletes.
Yeah. I know Miami
So
Hype.
yeah,
I coach an
hmm,
indoor. I coach Evolution indoor boys, so I meet a lot of these
nice.
teams from Florida. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, man.
Miami High.
Mhm.
That's my great friend Emilio Rodriguez.
Okay.
He's the owner of it, and yeah, great people,
Man, again, small world. Like
yeah,
we know a lot of the same people. So let's
right?
I mean, I could talk about Jeff all day, but let's move on to and we're definitely
Hmm.
going to come back to beach volleyball. But before I
Yeah.
forget, I wanted to talk about Mount Olive University. When did you start there? Did you start
Uh,
2013?
no, 2009. Yeah.
2009.
Yeah,
Okay.
I went from 2009 and graduated in 2014.
Oh, okay.
I was
Cool.
a five years there. I only played for 3 years,
Okay.
unfortunately.
That's all right. You got to do what you got to do. Get that degree.
That's right.
Come on. I mean,
Yeah.
Mike Salek, we were talking about before. He went to
Hmm.
Southampton, LIU for 5 years, but it was he had an education major that required like the fifth year or so. Um,
Hmm.
and you got, I think 2013, you got all tournament team or all conference team in
Yep.
the Carolinas, man. That's pretty good, man. That's I think players like you made the Carolinas more respectable, because when I saw they made a conference, I was like,
Yeah, not
I
just
don't know nothing about no
me.
Carolinas, you know.
Yeah, I give credit to guys like Chat Mercado,
Yep.
who he was an incredible player. Um, uh,
What about
my
Zahn?
buddy
Eric Zahn?
Erickson, yeah,
Yeah.
um, yeah, great players that we had back then.
Wow, dude. Yeah,
Mike
I'm looking at them all
Nicolau,
right now. Yep. Brady Marco,
yep, Brady,
John Wheaton.
mm-hmm,
Yep. Michael Schneck. Okay. Wow, you're a good team, man. You're a good outside hitter, man. Because I know a lot of times when the setter sets you a go ball or like a lazy shoot, and I'm a setter. All right, I started
yeah,
in Germany as an outside hitter, but that coach I was telling you, is like go set.
mm-hmm,
He's like, I'm 6'1", but my wingspan is 6'8". So,
yeah,
and I'm
nice.
also left-handed. So he told me to set. So, but something that I notice about indoor setters is sometimes when they're trying to deceive the block, they're trying to fool the block. They
Hmm.
forget that they still have to deliver a set
That's right.
that the
They got to
hitter
put the set in the
can.
right spot.
I was watching some of your highlights, and your setter was pushing back and then boom, pumping out the go ball. Ball drops inside. You don't care. Boom. Drop your shoulder cross court. You see a split seam, plow through it with the tank. And the
Yeah,
thing
I
that the
was
go ahead.
Yeah, I was start real early in my career actually. That um a lot of the time it's not like the set. It's just like you find ways to side out first, and then you
Hmm.
spit to the setter. But side out first.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
like that because if you continue to hit balls that are out of system, then your setters, if the setter's any good, his confidence gets better and then the sets get more accurate. As
you're right.
opposed to like an
Hmm.
outside hitting diva that's like, he hits it into the net and you're like, oh, higher, or you
Yeah,
or you or you
that's right.
blast the ball out of bounds. I'm like, dude, that ball's too, it's too low. So I really like that. And in our where you're young, but you're old school. You're in a sense
Yeah,
that once it leaves the setter's hands, it's the hitter's
it is in
responsibility.
my control.
It is
Yeah,
the hitter's
it's all
responsibility.
in my
Yeah.
control.
The only
Yeah, I don't.
go ahead.
All my setters have always been great. I had great setters. You know, if I've ever complained like about the sets,
That means he sucks.
which no, I mean it really it was probably something else that was bothering me.
Hmm.
It was the only complaints I had is like give me more balls.
Hmm.
It will be the only thing that I've always like fight with my coaches or my setters about like, oh no, I want more. Yeah, like, yeah, I need it more. I need it more.
Of course, yeah.
I'll yeah, but
What was the
what hitter doesn't want more?
what was the most amount of kills you got in the match?
Um, Man, I might have had like a few, like 25 to like 27 kills, maybe.
That's a lot too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's also a rally too. So I mean
I
I know you can only get but so many. You know.
Right, and a lot of I think my first and second year, well, my first year, playing for Mount Olive, I was pretty good at it. The second year, the coach did a really bad job at trying to distribute the sets. He,
Right.
he was more into like, oh, no, every ball gotta go to Angel. No, like we want to all the hitters go, but the problem I always had with that is that it's not trying to say that the other hitters were worse. It was just that I'm the one that if you set a person, that person messes up, sets another person and messes up, and then set me lastly, just because we want to have a backup, like
Mm,
it puts a lot of pressure on the hitter rather
exactly.
than like you start hot, as a player, you set your best option of the day. I think it's if you know you're gonna get a kill from that guy, wouldn't you set him 100 times? Like it's kind of the way I thought, and that's kind of like the way I grew up playing too. Um, I had a friend of mine. You might have heard of him. His name is Leonardo Leva. He
Hmm.
played in Korea, and he pretty much had like 60 kills in one match. Just fitting the ball. If he's making the points, why not? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I thought that could have been the case. My second year, oh,
Right.
not my second year, my other 2 years in Mount Olive. Um, but it didn't happen, and I think we still did great as a team.
Yeah, man. I have a friend from New York, Patrick Dietz. He's a coach out there for a team called Cali. He was also the head coach for Mount St. Vincent. And I was building this tiny program called City Tech in Brooklyn. And
Nice.
we only had 6 people. In fact, one guy registered 10 minutes before the first match. He registered for class. That's how bad it was.
Oh, okay.
And I only had 2 guys: a Haitian player, Patrick Dietz, he's from I think Port-au-Prince, and Eugene Escoboza from Mocha, and everybody else. My Oppo played on the soccer team, so we were literally trying to build an NCAA program out of nothing, not even a
Wow.
club. And we went to Game 5, and Patrick, who was our go-to guy, was 9 for 9, 9 kills, 9 attempts, All 9
9
attempts
kills.
kills. And we lost because my setter, everybody else he set was 0 for 5, 4 errors. So he decided he wanted to mix it up, go middle. The middle hit it into the net, and then he set opposite. The opposite hit the ball wide, and we lost by 2 points. I think 15-13, where I was like. When you look at the
pretty
numbers,
obvious.
no, but
Yeah.
when you look at the numbers, you're like, the dude's 9 for 9. How does the guy 9 for 9 in a set to 15 and lose? And I'm like, damn, maybe he should have been 13 for 30. He
Yeah.
had to be 15 for 15 or something.
Take
You're
the
right.
chances, even
Yeah.
if we don't get it.
Ride him to the
gotta
end.
Take the chances.
Yes,
Yeah.
especially
gotta
game
give it. You
5,
gotta
right? There's no
feed the
game
beast.
6. Just don't worry about him getting tired. It's game 5. He could rest after this. So my setter, comes up to me and he's like, I'll set Patrick next time. 2 days later, we were in a similar situation, and Patrick also got 9 for 9, but because the other team missed some balls or whatever, but we rode him and we won by 2. So that was like a setter's learning experience. The difference between utilizing a mismatch. Sometimes the setter in his peripherals, he'll see like the middle lead for the oppo, and then he'll set like a push one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's a smart set, but sometimes you got to just go with who's hot. You got to go with who's hot.
Right.
So I get that. I totally get what you're saying though. But hey, dude, not bad. Do you know what the record for NCAA Division I is for kills? It's 58. Dave McKenzie.
Yeah.
Who played on the U.S. national team, played BYU. I think he's playing for Long Beach State. And BYU was heavily favored to win the whole thing that year. And he had 58 kills. But back then, it wasn't rally. Back then, it was just side out. You had to be the serving team to score.
Right.
Now the record for NCAA period is 61.
Nice.
I played at Hunter College. There was a Haitian player named Greg Romulus. His whole family plays. Rudy, 2 brothers, 3 sisters. They could make a indoor sixes team for men. And I was out. This is weird. I'm on an NCAA team. My mom's like, "No, you're going to church today." I'm like, "Mom, I got a game." You go. You live in my house, boy. You go, yeah, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You want to go to the game? Live in your own house, right? So come on.
Pay your own bills.
We speak in the same language. You know what I'm talking about.
I know.
So I'm out.
I know.
Justin Stack, who you might know because I think he coached Coastal Carolina, their beach team, their first beach team at the same time you were graduating. And his wife coached at Coker College, Allison Stack. He was injured. He was a starter, injured. My Asian player, who lived in Chinatown, got drunk. They didn't even show up. So Greg, who's our star hitter, he's our best player, and he got set 98 times. He was 61 for 98, 5 errors. So, and just on fire. In a match we lost. It made Sports Illustrated. We made Sports Illustrated because he got all those kills. He did a Wilt Chamberlain, except Wilt Chamberlain won.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it takes a special athlete to do something like that because anybody else will be just tired.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know how there's some hitters that have that cruise control. There's some hitters where it looks like they're doing 100% all the time, and I'm like, okay, he ain't doing that 50 times in a game. And then there's some guys that looks like they're operating at 80%, maybe 85%, and they could just go all day. And that's this guy, Greg Romulus, man. I think you had a little bit of that too.
I'll tell you what. Google this guy, Leonardo Leiva.
How you spell it?
It's Leonardo, and the last name is Leyv as in Victor A.
Okay. Leandro Leiva. Okay, go ahead. You got a story to tell?
No, I just want you to Google him. He had 2 games where he scored, and this in the professional, like the Korean league.
Right.
He scored 71 points.
Jesus.
On 4 set matches. Yeah.
Man.
He has the record for most points in a game.
Yeah. Well, points you mean kills,
Two.
blocks, and aces, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
everything. I
Wow,
mean,
dude.
kills. I mean, the guys.
He
He
was a.
was one of my teammates growing up, but this guy's insane,
Wait a second.
insane.
I know this guy. He's on the. Wait. Whoa. He's on the U.S. national team for a while for Cuba.
Yeah. He was there for a split of a second. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He was there when Leon was there. So obviously,
Yeah, Leon was the middle, right? Yeah.
no, Leon was the outside. Leon is now the best player in the world for indoor. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Great guy. Yeah.
Volleyball player.
Yes. 71 kills
That's
in multiple
ridiculous.
matches. It's not just one, but like,
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, it's insane. But some, when you, like I say, if you can get 71 kills, first of all, it takes a special athlete to do something like that. That's
listen,
insane.
this dude, I mean, and to do it in this time period
Disney Plus,
where it's
Hulu, and
rally,
ESPN
right? To
Plus,
do it in
now
this time
bundled
period where
together.
it's
The
rally.
greatest stories
Hold on,
and
bear with me. I
characters.
think I got highlights of this guy.
Right.
This is him right there.
That is him.
To score 71 points in this day and age where it's rally and the points don't come easy, look at that OT. That's in the Korean league right there. Yo, look at that. Dude. That's above the antenna, my dude. Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah,
man.
Special guy. Yeah.
Oh, dude. So listen, what was the first AVP tournament you played in?
Actually, that one
Nueva York?
that you filmed in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
For very first match
And you played with Brett.
ever with Brett Rayner.
With Brett
Yep.
Grainer. Brett, another cool dude. Man,
Yeah.
you had a team. You had a bunch of nice guys for partners. No wonder
Like
you
I
think.
say,
No
man,
wonder you think
that's
everyone's
the
a nice guy, man. Dude, I played with some
Yeah.
absolute d holes, man.
Yeah. That's the criteria. If you want to make it, you just gotta be nice.
Man, there's some people. You're lucky. So that was 16-14 game 3. I remember
Yeah.
that. And I followed
It was a
that for
tough
two
one.
reasons because Mike and I kind of came up together. The 1 year I played at Hunter, Mike played at LIU Southampton. Mike was also voted best high school player in New York at the time in his senior year. He went to Midwood High School. So he had a lot of roots in New York. So if you saw the court, like the qualifiers are usually empty in New York, but if you saw the court,
Man, my court, I don't know. There were more
It was-
people in my court
Than the main
there
draw.
were in the main. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
dude, he has got roots in New York. He's got love in New York. He's got mad
I
love in New
believe
York.
it.
And Greg
I believe
Hunter,
it.
that guy he was playing with, the guy with the tight shorts, the dad bod. He got the dad bod, the hairy chest, and the tight shorts where the butt's all tight, smacking grabbing people's behind. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you grabbing me by my behind? So, yeah, man, that was a pretty good match. And this weird thing is, I thought you were gonna win because you did have him blocked on match point, and I think he covered himself with like a
Right.
hand that looked like it could have been a carry or whatever, this and that. And he survived that point and eventually won 16-14. I so
also
remember
missed,
that.
I also missed the serve
No.
with us being up. Yeah, I think I rushed it. I mean, like I said, it was my very first AVP tournament. We didn't have a really good drive there.
No.
Obviously.
No,
we didn't
'cause-
prepare very well. It was like, I would have made the same mistake.
Yeah. Well, that was a
this
tough
time
bracket.
around.
Dude, that was a tough bracket. I mean, Mike, after that game, he had to play Bennett and someone else. I forgot the guy's name. And then for the last round, had to play Paula Reza and Alejandro Parra, who was the one seed. Like a lot of these guys that come to New York as the 1 or the 2 seed, they expect to qualify because they know that they have a leg up on some of the competition. So a lot of people are willing to travel there, you know. But for me, I tell all of my friends in California, I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to New York. I want to go to Houston. I'm like, go to New York, dude. Go to New York. It's a gold series. It's very diverse, you know. And
Man,
if
it's so fun.
yeah, and if you lose, it's a great place to spend your weekend.
That's right.
You know,
That's
so
right.
what did we do after the qualifier? We went to Central Park and we played in Central Park. So
Right.
so Hillman, you were in the draw in Manhattan Beach. This is 2019 with Hillman, right?
Yeah.
Was
Tillman, with Brian Tillman.
yeah? Oh, Tillman. Sorry, Brian Tillman.
Yeah.
You did you win a regional tournament to get that spot, or did you do it through the qualifier?
Yeah, so there was an AVP Next Gold Series here in Virginia Beach that we won.
Okay.
Like yeah, so prior to getting to Manhattan. And yeah, Tillman and I played and we won the finals versus Logan Weber and Chris Lewis.
Chris Lewis. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
To make it to Manhattan.
Lewis is a tough dude to freaking play defense against, man. He is Lewis. That one set, that little 1.5 set, that little tempo thing.
I tell you what, I wouldn't know because I served him maybe only once.
Good. He ain't never gonna know. Good.
Yeah, he wasn't gonna get my business.
Nah, well, Lewis, I coached Earl Schultz and Jake Arudia in Hermosa Beach. And we wound up in the qualifier against them second round. And just quick set, delayed quick, boom, boom, boom. And
yeah.
And me, I've been doing this for a long time. I can play I could see a team play for 10 minutes and be like, okay, this is how you beat them. I could play a team at the longest it would ever take me is a whole set. You know, and if I have videotape on you, that's a wrap. You gone from the beginning. But with that being said, this guy, I'm just like, all right, what am I missing? So Bobby Jacobs comes up. I think I don't know if he was playing. He's playing with Ty Tremblay. He's playing with Ty Tremblay in the qualifier. Bobby Jacobs is like, dude, just tell Earl to block cross. He says, just do a 2 block and a 4 block. He says, because for lures to cut over, the cut over has to be really high. And if Jake can't run that down, he sucks. You're not going to win anyway. And if he hits line, like power line, lures is not going to hit straight down in front of the defense. He's going to hit deep, and it's hard, but he's not going to hit it in front of you. So we just made that one simple adjustment, especially on the ocean side. Ocean side where the wind's pushing it towards the strand.
Yeah.
Just block that inside set. Force him to cut back, and if he cuts back power, you got it. And if he tries to cut over, shoot over or whatever, Earl's got such a good block, such a high block. It's got to go. It's got to go up and down. This is the guy you should play with. Listen, no, Jeff's your best partner right now because the skill set and the complements, the styles complement each other. But if you're trying to play with as many people as you can, man, go play a couple with Earl. He's another nice guy you can add on to your list.
Yeah, I played against him once maybe, and I had the chance to hang out with him a few times. Well, yeah, very nice guy.
Who did you play with against in the draw at Manhattan Beach? I wish I could remember. We lost
to Tim. Not Tim. What's his name? Casey Patterson and
Buttinger.
And Buttinger.
Yeah.
And then to Dylan Marek, and I think he was playing with.
That's a good question. Yeah, because he wasn't playing with Palm. Palm played with somebody else.
Not Dave Palm.
No, Palm ended up playing with someone because, and I'll tell you a story off camera.
Yeah,
dude's a knucklehead.
Tyler Laneski. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, but I mean, Palm was supposed to play with somebody else, and I'll tell you later about all that because Dave sent me a text. He was really upset.
Yeah.
Just
fun fact? Do you know Dave Palm and I were teammates on High Performance? funny. We did got in a lot of trouble together.
Yeah. Man. I love Dave Palm, man.
We play against each other all for 2 years of high school.
That's so cool.
I've always won.
Yeah.
No.
Listen, that's another guy you got to eventually play with too, man. You know, Jeff played with him too. I was with for Huntington Beach. You know,
Yeah.
I was sitting in the under the umbrella for those two and just watching those two work, just doing stats. I didn't really coach because I just thought the two of them. I mean, I never coached Dave Palm before. I only worked with Jeff, so it was one of them
Hmm.
things. I just did numbers. I did a pull chart and then just let them do their thing. But
And
they lost to
sometimes
American
that
Clemens. They
that
lost to
that
American
helps.
Clemens. I thought, honestly, I thought they missed the easiest layup in the history of qualifier volleyball. But
Yeah.
Brandon Clemens, when that dude catches fire like that, sometimes there's always so many ways you can hit cross court, and that dude was just killing it. And Dylan Merrick, when he's
Hmm.
on too, he's on. So.
Yeah.
So you won Captain Bills with Jeff.
Yep.
You had a really good cruise control in that match. Now, I'm not talking about you individually, but you guys as a team. You guys were
Yeah.
very, very calm. You were very relaxed. As far as your gas tank,
Hmm.
um, what's up with that? How did you guys? Was it just good conditioning, or did you finish your matches quickly?
It was our second time playing together. So we figure the one thing that Jeff has and that I love, and it's honestly one of the things that I really haven't gotten from any other player, um, is the experience, the volleyball experience that he has. He knows, he pulls himself in scenarios that a lot of people wouldn't know what to do, and he somehow has a way to figure these things out. So when we first played together, we had, obviously, with me being a bump setter, um, and also, like, it's one of the skills that I don't, I'm not great at, is setting, but he's really patient on, like, telling me things that I can do to improve the set. Um, so part of it was that communication aspect that he was having with me, like, the simple fact of, like, sometimes when you send me it's a bad pass and you send me and square into the antenna, it kind of like throws me off a little.
Yeah.
And I don't take that as a criticism.
No, of
I
course.
actually take it, yeah, I take it as a learning point. And so the next time I fix it, he goes, gets a kill. It's the little things that a lot of people don't do because they think they're gonna hurt the partnership,
Mm,
and it really doesn't. It's just communication, and it's the point of communication is to improve something, right?
yeah.
So um to me, I take it that way. Like, I'm super coachable, and all you gotta do, rather than just stay quiet and you know be mad or whatnot, just tell me something that I can improve. What can I do so that you get the set that you want? And again, it was our second time playing together after all the information that he has given me, that he wanted from me. Here we go. We just run through the tournament.
It took
I
off.
think every match we played, it was like, it felt comfortable.
Yeah. And
It
then he
felt
caught
real
fire
comfortable.
blocking, dude. And
Yeah.
in the
And that's
finals, he
the
was
other
just
thing. He just
he
went
got
on and
like
did his thing.
yeah, he got like 10 blocks in like two sets in the
Yeah.
finals. Like you guys, I thought it was
And,
a good revenge match. It was Christian Honer and Weber,
and
right?
Logan Weber. Yeah.
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 So
Um,
I'm gonna get to them in a minute, but a very, very interesting point that you brought up about people squaring their shoulders to the antenna. For us, for juniors, we do the pole, square shoulders to the pole, because it gives some of the girls more room. And this and that, where
mhm.
the guys, certain against certain teams that you do want to set a little closer because there's no one, the penetration's not there where they're gonna mess with your swing anyway. So I really like the way Jeff did that because Jeff was teaching that. So within the
Yeah.
summer, so that was really really cool. Um, God, where was I? I was just trying to get back to that. That was Captain Bills. You beat Kevin Knight and a very good Bigford.
Yeah.
Man, that kid's gonna be good, huh? I mean, I'm
He
name dropping
is.
because I want all of these kids. I mean, we need to put all of these, you, them, all of
Yeah,
this
no,
next generation of
everybody, no.
players, man, we need to put all of them up. That's why I just keep constantly name dropping these people.
Hmm.
So you won Atlantic City with Bruno.
Yes.
Um, what is the comparison of winning with Bruno as with Jeff? Through my estimation, that tournament seemed a little longer, and you guys seemed a little bit more tired at the end. So it was. Am I right in my comparison on that?
On which one?
When
Like the
you
Atlantic
won,
City?
yeah, when you and Bruno won Atlantic
Um,
City, was that more of a gas tank stabber than Captain Bill's was?
oh yeah, definitely, most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. First of all, Atlantic City was a 2 day in terrible conditions. It rained the whole day, the first day, literally the whole day, all Saturday raining. Um, and then the second day, it was real humid.
No.
Um,
Oh man,
yes, yeah. So,
that sucks.
I mean, we didn't cruise. I think actually what gave us the win is like I'll say it's the hard work that we put prior to that. I think that was like what made Bruno and I so dangerous. Is that I mean the background that he comes from. I don't know if you follow him on social media, but that guy outworks anybody I know.
Yeah, I don't.
Anybody I know.
Yeah, I
He
don't.
is the guy that works the hardest out of anybody, any volleyball player I know.
I see
And
the
not
way he
just
trains too.
because it's not just because how much he practices or how much he lifts. It's that based on the conditions that he got, I mean, basically, he lives in an isolated place. Like there is not a lot of players near him, and somehow he finds way to still get better. And he's to him, it's always a grind. I'm in the gym three times a day. I go and drive throughout 2 hours to get a good practice. And yeah, so when I played with him in Atlantic City, that was our second time playing together. And our first time playing together, it was such a fun tournament. It was such a fun tournament. There were like maybe like 30, 40 teams as well in Ohio. And
Hmm.
Evan Corey and Steve Roshik won it all.
Okay. Oh, they played
But
together.
yeah, they played together. And let me tell you, hell of
Yeah.
a team.
Yeah.
Um, and so after that, I thought I was like, man, this guy, he's such a fun guy to play with, just because he has the fire, first of all, and then second that that he's not out there just not working. No, this guy's working his ass off. And so whenever you put him in the court, I mean, if you put two people that work hard in the court, I think they can beat anybody,
I agree.
anybody,
Yeah,
and
his
yeah,
conditioning, man. And you're right about his
which is.
conditioning. The videos don't say enough, man. He works so hard.
Hmm.
Go ahead. You were
Yeah.
finishing a thought.
No, I said, yeah, I said it's like we played the first day. We pretty much ran through pool play. Then the second day, we had a really tough match against a Texas guy that I'm sorry for forgetting the name. I'm not great
Was
with
it Peter?
names.
It wasn't Peter Cannoli, right?
Peter
Yeah.
Connolly, yeah,
Okay.
Peter Connolly, and he went to three with the other team cramping, and it was a mentally tough match.
Yeah.
But we put things together, and again, the harder, the team that worked the harder
Mm.
won, and saw every other game,
I think it's
um,
amazing though.
which is outwork people
Yeah. Well, that's
pretty
Bruno, man.
much.
He's the most prepared physically and mentally prepared player that's going to come out there. He's always trying to be the best version of himself. I remember
Yeah,
watching him in Oz qualify for Hermosa Beach, and I'm like, dude, you were talking about the yin and the yang.
yeah,
You got Bruno who exercises, who trains, he got good nutrition, he's running, he's lifting weights. Then you got Oz. Oz is like, yo, just give me a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I just need food
Oz
in my
just gets
belly.
on the court and plays. You know, this dude's stretching out. This guy's running in the sand to warm up, sprints in the sand. Oz is just
Hmm.
sitting in the beach chair. When it's time to play, he just gets up.
Yeah, just go, just
But
go.
I think the reason why Oz gets away with it is because his skill set is so tight, dude.
Yeah, he is.
His hands are immaculate. His serve receive, like his platform is old school.
Hmm.
Like there are a lot of people who mentally struggle with serve receive and just passing and this and that. These are things that Oz don't even think about. He just does. There are people like, oh,
No,
I want to
yeah,
improve my hands. My hands. No, Oz has hands. You know, there are people like, oh, I hope I don't miss my jump serve. No, he does a lot of things that people try to do. This dude does this without thinking, and he gets so far just on talent.
yeah.
Because I'm telling
Well,
you,
I mean,
look, Angel, he ain't working out. Okay, he's
no,
not.
I know.
Go ahead.
I mean, when I first met As, he was obviously playing a lot more than I guess he plays in California. Or he played in California. I met him in 2007, 2008, and we
Yeah.
would play like indoor open gyms like literally every week. You know, we will come to like weekend tournaments, and I will always see us, you know, in the tournaments. He was playing a lot more.
Yeah.
Um, but it's just the fact that, you know, at his size, because he's not a small guy, at his size and the
Right.
ball control that he has, it's just incredible.
Yeah. He's wow.
It's incredible.
He did you play the dirt games with him fours sometimes? Because there was a time period he's
No,
out there. Okay, you know what I'm talking
no,
about though,
no.
right? It was wow. It's those
Yeah.
games are legendary, dude. I was watching, and I'm. It's so cool that someone actually put him on tape because me growing up, Central Park,
Hmm.
Sundays, there was a court just for fours. And
Yeah.
all it was again the guys from Brighton Beach, the Russians, the Chinese guys, the Dominicans, and it was not for everybody. It was, and
You're
Central
right.
Park. You want to talk about crowds? There are people that are walking by because they see a crowd. They're like, "Oh, what's going on? You know, someone falls, someone have an accident, or is there a fight going on?" And then they get a closer look, and it's like, "Nah, it's just a bunch of guys playing really good volleyball." So now the crowd gets bigger and bigger, and the entire court, the concrete jungle, because
Yeah.
there wasn't a beach court back then. It was just a hard court. So the entire court is surrounded by people. You can't even see concrete anymore. Just people, and you can see the
Nice.
court. And I like watching the fours games like that, like what we were talking about,
Hmm.
and I know Thailand or Cambodia, they're putting a lot of their games up, and I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, guys, just put as much as you can up on video because these are the games. These are like I don't know if you call them the underground games, but these are the games that people like real ballers, people that love to watch a lot of volleyball love. You know, big up to these guys too.
I love
Yeah,
4-to-4.
yeah. Oh man, it's court freedom. Me as a setter
Yeah.
that can hit, I'm lefty. I can hit on two. We always running plays. You know, I notice a lot of the beach games they don't run a lot of plays for beach fours, but like hard top fours or grass fours or like
Hmm.
145th, and you know again in Harlem or like quasi Washington Heights. Fours. Speaking of fours, since we're on the subject, do you actually have four people in your area that can play in this fours things the McKibbins are doing?
Uh,
Cause
well,
I was gonna send him a text today, cause I thought about you. I thought about like I don't know about Kevin Knight or whatever, but I don't know. Do you have four people that could play him?
yeah, I mean, it would have been tough, but I definitely think I have 4 people. I mean, Jeff is considered in my area.
Yeah,
Well, I'll
that's
take
true.
Jeff because he
Yeah,
lives 3 hours away from me now. Um, uh, I think we could probably find four
yeah.
for sure.
Cause
Yeah.
they could
I mean,
definitely do a regional thing. They got the Hawaiians, right? You got the McKibbins
hmm
and the Crabs playing together, who I think is
we got
the
to get Adam
yeah.
Roberts involved. I think
Yes,
Adam Roberts can set.
he
Can
could
set.
set. That's it. And now look,
Okay.
now we thinking.
Now we're
Now our
thinking.
wheels
We
are
just got to
turning.
get people involved.
Yes, big up to Adam Roberts, man. Big up
Yeah.
to you, man. Just making this podcast happen. Um, I expect to see a lot of good things out of you the end of this year and especially next year. You from last year and the year before that and this year have become a better version of yourself. Everything that you've done, you do well. You're doing a little bit better. At some point, hands are gonna come. You're gonna be more comfortable with that, and as we know as volleyball players, the only way to get better at it is to do it right. When I was in the Army, I was in boot camp. My drill sergeant's like, he says, "Son, what's the best way to get better at push-ups?" I'm like, to do push-ups? He says, "Out goddamn standing." They're gonna make you general someday.
Man,
and that's the same thing with hands. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just like you mentioned, it's I pride myself on the work that I put day in and day out. Normally I don't have a lot of time to do this. I have a full-time job and I got a wife to take care of. They're super needy. And so, but I always find times to, put my work, either going to the gym, going to practice, and, doing the things that I got to do. That's right. And, it's not that my hands, the reason why I want to use my hands now, it's just because I just want to challenge myself. My sophomore year in college, I broke my hand, and obviously I can bend my hand like that. My right hand can go only like certain way, like
okay.
And so for the longest time I went to Puerto Rico and re-broke it again. I had surgery on it and it's just never been the same. And I keep putting myself that excuse. The reason why I'm not using my hands is because of that. So, this year I'm saying, you know what? It's not an excuse no more. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it until I get it right.
Yeah.
So
block scheduler for practice, right? There's one whole practice you just use forearms, don't use your hands, and then one whole practice just use nothing but hands. And if you double it, you double it. Right. So
that's it.
Yeah, because listen, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with bump setting. All right, John Hyden, multiple time MVP champion, made the finals with Theo Brunner. I think Hawaii, they had to do it from the qualifier, for Christ's sakes. That guy never uses his hands, So
Ricardo Santos.
Yeah, and he's one of the best setters out there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is an Olympian, and Emmanuel, his partner.
3 medals.
There's it's not really about whether your hand sets or not. It's just location. And to me, I don't really care. Like I say, it's not about me. I'm just giving myself the challenge.
There you go.
Of using them. Just because before I had my surgery, I would hand set.
It's true.
Everything. So, I'm putting excuses out there saying that the reason why I can't hand set is because I broke my hands, and I don't think that's fair for me. I think
you're fresh out. Out of excuses, son.
That's it. No more excuses.
Yeah.
No more.
Bruno
excuses.
too, right? Alison's partner. Like Alisson's partner,
Bruno,
only recently, only the last 2 years, was using his hands. I never seen him use. I've seen him use them occasionally, but the past, Alisson had to literally hold his platform, so the ball had to have that. You know how I'm talking. You know what we're talking about? That outside hitters thing, where you hold your platform, where the ball waits for the setter to get there. Setter looks this way, looks back at the ball, does that. So and that's something else. As a coach, I'm big on teaching, like just holding your platform. And every time you run into good players, they kind of remind you, all right, when I'm coaching, I got to remind my kids. So like once every 3 years, I run into a coach, or I work with a coach, like Betsy Flint. I was with them, LMU. I was with their women's beach team with John Mayer and Aaron Mansfield, who's one of the best indoor coaches I ever met in my life. But Betsy Flint's like, hey, hold. And I'm like, I remember. All right, it's coming back to me.
Yeah.
So
that's it.
So my indoor boys right now, man, yeah. Oh man, hey, dude, Angel. At some point, you got to eat, man. All right, I'm gonna let you get out of here, but wow, dude, we got to do this again. at some point.
Yeah,
I want you,
obviously.
I want you to continue to play, and I want you to come back on this podcast, maybe with Jeff or whatever, and we can have a little
Yeah,
fun.
we'll
And when
we'll
this
make
COVID
that
thing,
work.
and when this COVID thing dies down, you come to California. I'm gonna be back to doing in studio. Because COVID,
Nice.
I'm not doing in studio, and the person that
Yeah,
texts my show,
obviously.
she's the video switcher, she's the tech person, she's not here, so I've been teching all of my own shows,
You,
yeah.
hey man, you're doing great though.
Thank you. Well, that's volleyball players, right? We
Yeah,
listen. We make so little money that we have to become other professions where people go to
that's
school for, right? Look, your car
that's
breaks
it,
down.
man.
I just became a
Hey,
mechanic, right?
that's right. I Googled that thing.
Yeah.
I Googled it and I
Yes.
did it myself.
Yes.
How about
Listen, I'm
that?
not. I'm not a sound engineer. Guess what? I just became one the last few
Yeah,
months.
that's
I'm
it,
not a
dude. That's it.
journalist. Guess what? The last
You
couple of years, I
survive. You
became a
survive
journalist.
an event.
But that's volleyball players, right? We become,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
I'm not a doctor. Yeah. Congratulations, you're an
yeah.
Avenger. So, listen,
I
is there
say
a?
I
Go ahead.
I say I graduated from the YouTube university. That's
Damn, we wasted all that.
anything I do.
We wasted all that friggin' money in college, man. Oh, that's all we had to do
I
was just
know,
go on
right? Just
YouTube.
go to YouTube.
I
That's
want my
it.
money back.
That I know. I wish I can get it back.
Well,
I tell you that.
tell you what,
No,
monetize your videos, man. That'll help you pay
yeah,
for your college.
long gone.
Before we go, is there a particular site or anything you want to plug in, a place where the people can find you, get to know more about you, about Angel Dache?
No, man. I mean, I have my social media.
Okay.
It's
What's
Facebook. It's Angel
what's your
David
Instagram?
Dache. Huh?
What's your Instagram handle?
It's Angel Dache
Okay.
9,
Oh,
which is
one
my
word?
yep, yep.
Okay.
Just go there and follow me. I don't have a volleyball account, so a lot of the stuff that I post there is a lot about my dog, my wife, and just life.
Nice.
Because after volleyball, that's all I'm gonna have left.
You got your
But
dog, you got your man's, you said a dog? You got a man's best friend?
yep, yep.
Cool, man.
Luna, she's inside sleeping probably.
What kind of dog?
But she's people mix.
Nice. See,
Yeah, she's super
yeah,
sweet,
me, I
super
messed around and
super
had a
sweet.
kid first. I should have had a dog first, but you know what?
That's
I don't know
right.
if you've seen pictures of my kid. I got a
Man,
little.
I tell you what, I think dogs are way better than kids.
He's like, no offense, Jay.
Especially growing up. No, I got no arguments about that. But
No, no doubt.
I do love my dog though. She's pretty cool.
I like that. All right,
Yeah.
so cool, man. So everyone knows where to find you.
Hmm.
All right, for everybody at home, Angel might love you, but I had enough of you. In fact, I can't stand you. In fact, I am out of here. All right, for all of you at home, for all of you on your iPad at Starbucks on the lunch line listening to this, for all of you on your iPhone, for all of you on your Droid, for everyone on their desktop who runs the world, old school, old school. For Angel Dache, this is episode 69 of the Option Podcast. I'm Jason DeBeas. We love you to pieces, and we're out. Come check out the Option Podcast on OptionVB.com. It's also available on iTunes and Spotify and on YouTube under the NY Varsity Sports handle. You're going to love what you hear.